All right, everybody. So this is a Redemption of the Phoenix update for 3.6. It is almost done. I have one part left. This morning, actually last night into this morning, actually I should say yesterday, no, Sunday early evening into Monday morning, I worked 9.5 hours on the story. From what time was it? 4:30 in the afternoon to 2 a.m. I worked. With breaks in between, I worked my ass off to get it done. Oh my god. But as soon as 2 o'clock rolled around, like around midnight, I was starting to get tired and frustrated. So, I was taking breaks and whatnot. So, yeah, man, it was draining. But I'm up to Lucius's final lesson. Thank fucking Christ. Man, story has been a pain in my ass. But the main reason, like I've said before, is the filler. I have to add in stuff to fully flesh it out, and I've also had to cut stuff out too. Uh, Two things I've cut out were, one of them was upcoming, but I decided I didn't need it. I cut out Lucius's need for a serum because whenever I was writing Redemption Phoenix, it must have been 2004, I guess. Yeah, '04. That sounds about right. '04 or '05, maybe. I had watched Blade Trinity and the serum shit, so it was kind of an homage to Blade. So I looked at it, I was like, I don't need that. It doesn't further the plot. It doesn't help it at all. It's not really important. Um, what was the second thing I cut out? I cut and reworked Lucius and Eve's original encounter with each other because it was so cliche and shit. But I might reuse it for the dark side ending. So we'll see. I don't know. But those are two things I cut out. Um, what did I do in the 9.5 hours I spent working on it? Oh my god. Got a fucking headache out of it, that's for sure. Um, I expanded on. Let me think. I have to think because it was a lot of pages I pumped out during them 9.5 hours. It's a lot of work. Um, Backstory and feelings for Charlie, Demas, and Brock, and Krasner on Tatooine. Um, then, because that took the longest because I turned it into, with them sharing a meal together and whatnot, and understanding each other and, where they came from and how they felt and all that shit. Feelings is one thing that is very, very important in my story because it's one of the dimensions for any character is to have feelings. Do they, does this upset them? Do they miss that person? Do they care about them? Do they hate them? Do they want them back? That kind of thing. And then, you go beyond that. You take, how do they love them? And then you splice it, or no, you split it into multiple threads. What part of them do they love? How did they love them? Where did they love them the most? That sort of thing. That's how you break down. That's how you get multidimensional with your characters. That's how you get multidimensional with your story. It's how you make multiple layered stories. You take one word like hate or love or anything, hate, love, sex, any of those three attributes, and you split them. And then you can even split them even more. And it turns into a giant fucking spider web. AKA Venn diagram. Or just a spider web setup. Me, I just write as I go. But I'm writing based off of what's in the binder that I have written down, so. A lot of it I have to translate and trim up and stuff or expand on. And then after I was done on Tatooine, I jumped back to Jiga. So I worked on. I'm trying to remember what I started with that. Um, ah, Eve's feelings, Trinity's feelings, Lucius's feelings. I think that was it. Oh, and then I brought ice into the equation as well. So with that, it was, they were sitting, like I said before, I might not have said this before. I might have said it in my head and didn't say it in the video, but I'll say it now. What I do with them what I do with Lucius, Eve, and Trinity on Jaga is, as part of their training, end of the day training, when they're all said and done at the end of the day, they sit down, they share a meal together. And Eve has them share, what they learned during their training, what they learned, what they unlearned. Because her whole lesson in training is unlearning, which is a huge uh, step for me in writing, because I've learned a lot in my writing and growing up and everything. And I figured, fuck it, you know, why not add unlearning to the experience and see where that goes? And it has been very fucking rewarding. Um, Trinity has learned that the one thing she unlearned, well, a couple things she unlearned. Um, I forget all of them, but the biggest one was she unlearned to love Brock. And it's torn her up inside because she loved him so much, and she doesn't understand how she fell out of love with him, after being away for 2 months. She figured it might be fatigue, she figured it might have been from being apart for 2 months and whatever else, and it would just, it would come back. But she tried her hardest to, feel something for Brock, and nothing came at all from her mind, her heart, her body, nothing. She felt nothing for him. So she's torn up and broken. And then Eve confessed to sleeping with Lucius, and then that set off a whole chain of fucking events as well. And I almost wanted to give away a big fucking reveal, but I decided not to because it would really ruin it. And I'm saving it for after the next part, and that's going to be in 3.7 or 3.7, I should say. So, yeah, 3.6 originally was going to be a lot longer, but I decided to break it up in because there's two emotional events coming up, and the first one, um, I will tell you later once I finish it today, and then the other one I'm going to do in 3.7, because to have two emotional events back to back like that would drain the shit out of me, and I would have a severe fucking headache. So, as I finished 3.6 up, where I left off at 3.6, yeah, Trinity blew up at Eve and Lucius, and then it went back and forth for a little bit, and then Ice came into it, and she revealed to Lucius that she was there when Lord Tomas Raven struck her down and killed her, and Lucius didn't know that because there were so many secrets not coming out, and he was getting pissed about it because he wanted to know the secrets. And she revealed one truth of that matter to him through force vision and shit, and it was so good. And the dialogue that went through that I put out, I was almost in tears because it was so good. And then I decided to add in more backstory on Eve and about how, she can't have kids because when she has kids, um, you know, they come out stillborn. But even though they're stillborn, they take 1,000 years to mature into, growing up and stuff. And her race, Gigans, don't live but only a handful of centuries. They only live a couple thousand of centuries. Yeah, they live a couple thousand years, and then they die. So you figure, they have one stillborn baby, and it takes a century, which is 100 years, to mature. So in that time, you know, it sucks. They don't have enough time to even watch them grow up fully. So it was rough. And then Trinity, and then yeah, Lucius and Eve slept together. No sex. Just he held her and whatnot because she ended up having a panic attack. Um, then Trinity ran to Rick in the forest in his cabin, and they slept together. No sex. So we got to pick up from there. And that's where I'm at. 9 hours, 9.5 hours. I'm almost up to page 200. Holy fuck, man. And I got, 66,000. Yeah, 66,001 words. One. That's just too funny. Yeah, it cracked me the fuck up. I was like, wow, one. Really? Really, motherfucker? Really? So, in a little while, after I'm done doing this book review over here, I will get dressed, head outside, and try to do some writing and get 3-6 finished because I really want to tell you what the hell happens in the end of 3-6. Like, oh, it's so sure. So, stay tuned.